Hello, my name is Slaz, and if you are watching this right now, it's probably for one of two reasons. One, you don't know how to mix. You just wanna have a basic understanding of how just an artist just records. I'm not a super crazy engineer or anything like that. I do think I have a pretty solid mix though, personally. Or number two is you've asked for my help, you still don't quite understand something, or just like you just need help mixing again, and we've talked before, blah blah blah. It's just like a reminder video, pretty much. Yeah, let's get into it. Number one, we gotta start off with the beat. Okay, so have our beat right here from K Randy. Okay, 87 BPM in the title, so we're gonna change it up here. 87 BPM. We're just gonna drag it. Okay. Me personally, I like to trim these things so it's perfectly on beat, like so. And then you check by doing this. Turn on this little thing right here, the metronome, and then play it, see if it's on beat. Sounds on beat to me. Number one, how you're gonna set up your recordings. Gonna come here to the mixer channel right here. And first course of action, we're gonna do this. Double click the beat, set it to track 1. Always put the beat on track 1. Never put anything else on track 1. Okay? Just leave that be. You can rename it beat. Now, what we're gonna do, I have my presets loaded up right here. Okay? We have a recording preset and we have a main preset. Okay? You're gonna take the recording one, drag it on insert number 2. Right here. Okay? Boom. I'm gonna mute my mic real quick. Able to hear me right now. This is what it would sound like. You'd put your mic insert right here. This is where you're gonna put it. And then I like to record on external inputs only, and on I like hearing myself when I talk on FL. This is just a recording preset. There's no EQs, no nothing on this. This is only where the auto-tune and limiter is. We'll go over that later. Put the main on here. You're gonna drag this to track 3. Once that loads, what you're gonna do, you're gonna come here. For the sake of this, we're gonna make both of these blue, actually. We're gonna make this a different color. Gonna make this like a default gray. Take both of these. Take this record one, unlink it from the master. This is a chain, okay? You're gonna unlink it, clicking until it's like outlined like this. Unclick this, and then link it to the main one. Like that. And now, you're on your preset. This is your main preset. Okay. Perfect. First thing you're going to do after you have your input like this, make sure it's on external input only and on. External input makes it so it's recording the raw vocal. So if you want to go make changes to your main, your EQ, whatever, you can do that. Okay. You're going to come here. You're going to click this button right here. That's going to make sure it's recording on this track on your record one. Okay. So I don't have the auto tune on right now. I'll figure out the key in a little bit. Let me just do that right now, actually. Okay, so me personally, I like to use auto key to find a key. I don't think the websites work as well. TuneBat, all those type of websites. I like to use auto key. And you would throw your auto key on your beat track right here. So it's only going to pick up the beat that it's going to find. It told me A minor, 440 hertz. So we're going to set that on our auto tune to A minor. And the default is 440 hertz. Okay, we're going to go like that. Boom. Our auto tune is now set. So how you record now, I'll go over the mixing stuff later, is this. Make sure your red one's on right here. Okay. Then we come over here, right here, to this little button right here, and you click this, and you just play it. See, it's recording right now. If I play that back, see, it's recording right now. So, every time you play it, though, as long as this is on, if you click play, it'll play. So you could turn this off, and then you could play it without a recording some. See, it's recording right now, but it's not recording me if I'm talking right now. So, yeah. Now, what we do is the second thing I'm going to show you is how to not make vocals clash. Okay. Okay. So I recorded these two things right here. All right. Recorded these two little things like so. Now what you're gonna notice is even if I trim these, okay, trim, they are clashing right here. They're overlinking. What the? They're linking. They're what? Fucking. They're on top of each other. They're clashing. Okay. This means it's gonna sound like this. So one of them is like because they're on the same preset, right? As we see, on the same preset, they're gonna clash. Girl, when you looking, I got stuck. See, it kind of like look. When you looking, I got it. Like it kind of does it like fades it out weird and stuff. It like cuts it off. And in more dramatic cases, if you're like rapping or something, you got overlaps like this, is gonna be even worse, especially if you have auto tune on. So to fix this problem, what we do is we come here, we right click, file, same mixer track state as, drag it right there. Do the same thing with the main Vox. And for the case of this video, I'm gonna recolor these so you can see the difference. Even though these are the same exact presets, okay? So this is the exact same as this. Only difference is you made another one, okay? You'd unlink it from the master, sidechain it right here. You're not gonna record on this one though. So what you do is I like to keep my shit organized. So it'll go like this. Let's say you have like two, like this, right? This is how it should look when you record if you stay organized. Made these unique. You're gonna go top, bottom with the tracks. So in this case, it'd be you're recording on track number 2. You lead the top two, and double click, and then you switch this one to 4, and now it's not gonna clash. Watch. When you looking, I got. Let's see. When you looking, I got started. This is a bad example of a take because I'm not like holding a note or anything, and these are bad takes. But you get the point. So you go 2 4 2 4. So go 2 4 2 4, and then now these wouldn't clash, right? That's how you do it. So that's how you make them not clash. That's how you record. And that's pretty much it for the bass main recording. I'm not going to go over layers because I can't be bothered. But I'll break down how to mix this, the rest of it, okay? So let's get off of my recording preset. All right. Hello. We are back. So now what we're going to do is we are going to do some volume leveling, some beat mixing, etc. Okay. I'm not gonna say this. I don't care. Go right here. The beat, as we know, is already set to track 1. Okay. So we're gonna come here. Ignore the auto key. We could delete that now. We don't need that. Let's say the song is finished. Okay. You want to mix your stuff. Throw a parametric EQ2 on here if you need it. Sometimes the beat is mixed good enough where you don't need this, or sometimes it's just your preference, right? So what I personally like to do, if there's too much like mid, like if my vocals don't seem to be popping out on the beat, like the beat's kind of overtaking my vocals, all you're going to do is come here and drag down 5 and maybe 4. You don't necessarily need 4 as much, down a little bit, and your vocals should sit on top, okay? So I'll show you a super dramatic example of this. This is without it, okay? Girl, when you looking, I got started, I know I should have took it. Okay. Let's say that this is like the mids are like really high, right? Girl, when you looking, I got started, I know I should have took it. In this case, it doesn't matter as much because Randy makes his beat super well. But let's turn these all the way down and you'll see what it does where my vocals hit. Girl, when you looking, I got started, I know I should have took it. It just sounds muffled because it is, but if it's like we actually just turn it down a little bit. Girl, when you looking, I got started, I know I should have took it. See, it's popping now. Also, I'm gonna switch this. Hold on, so I can. And you're hearing sample rate like bugs and stuff, and it's like a bunch of noise pops. Switch from your interface to the ISO when you're mixing, and then yeah, you should be good from there. Now, another thing you could do in here, which I don't recommend, you could do this in the master, or like you can do this on a beat. It's up to you. These are all just creative choices. If you want like some more bass on your song, you take the slider and turn up like number 1, right? So this is without, but if we turn up the bass, oh wait, sorry, wrong thing. Girl, when you looking, I got. Obviously, that's extreme, and you don't need to do that on most beats. But that's how you would EQ a beat. That's all you do to it. Now, let me just break down my mix, I guess. Number 1,
fruity limiter, all you do is touch the noise gate on this one. Release, I like to have it around here. If you want more punchier vocals, you could cut them off more, so like drag them up like this. Or singing vocals way more, you could put them like here. Gain all the way down. And then threshold, this is preference depending on your room, how much is going to cut of your vocal, like to noise, to use the noise gate. And then my auto tune, personally, when I sing, these takes were bad examples, but I usually sing on 10-10 like this. Occasionally I'll turn it down to 6-6 on here. And if I want to do like underground or something, I go like 2-4 or 2-0. You know, it's up to you what you want to do. I like 10-10 right now because I've been singing a lot. And then that's all it is for the recording track. That's literally it. Your limiter and auto tune. Then, you know, unlink from the master, sidechain to the main. The main, here's what we got going on here. Some people don't like their mixes like I have my mix. It's all going to be down to preference at the end of the day. And this is just how I like it. So if you don't like my mix, I don't really care. I like how it sounds. I'm not going to lie. So this is how I have personally have mine. A little basic EQ right here. You're going to be thinking, like, this might be super overstimulated. Like, what the fuck am I looking at? All we're doing here is you're cutting out the low end. Okay, you right click on this, change the type to high pass. Like if this was a basic EQ, like this is the default one, right? I'm gonna show you how to recreate it. Come here, go boom, high pass, right click on it, and then order, go like steep 6, steep 8. It's up to you. I'll just do 6 for the sake of this video. And you take it and you cut out at least 150, 140 to 150 is where your hertz should be lying. You see this right here? It also tells you at the top left right here when I'm on it how much hertz we're at. That's how much low end you should be cutting out, like just in general. Okay. And this is how my EQ looks right now. So let's detach these real quick so they stay when I click off. Let's minimize this boy real quick. My EQ. Okay. I have a bunch of my stuff turned down. We're gonna get into the nitty gritty of cutting out harsh EQs. After this, if I can move this EQ, I don't know what this is. I don't know why this is here. Hold on, sorry. Get this out of the way. We don't need that. Okay. So once you have your low end cut, number 2, what I had originally is you use the scroll wheel. I use the scroll wheel on this, or you could use the knob down here. Turn it like very tight, so it's like this, and then you find a bad frequency. Like a bad, you'll know what the bad frequencies sound like, I promise you. And then you take a slider once you find it and then drag it like -3 decibels. Once again, it'll tell you at the top left how many decibels you're at. Drag it down more. It's really up to you how much you want to cut out that frequency. Then you do the same thing for about 3 here, because the low end is where a lot of the bad frequencies are. There's a lot in the mids, but the low ends make a lot of different. You want to cut out as many bad low end frequencies as you possibly can. So let's take it down like this, right? Boom. About that. That's about what my mix is like so far, okay? Right? Same thing. Now, what I do personally is you seclude the mids right here. You kind of seclude them out. So what I would do is drag 5 over here, right? 7, I'm going to go out here. I'm going to move 6 over here. They don't have to be super perfect or anything right now. You're going to take it. You're going to find a really harsh frequency again. You're going to do that. You're going to drag it down. Right? I didn't mean to do that. But this time, what you're going to do is use the scroll wheel. You can maybe make it a little bit wider this time. So it's cutting a more wide range of the frequency that you're trying to cut. Same thing with number 5. You'd come up here. Then you drag it down. And you do about the same thing like that. And that's pretty much what my EQ looks like so far. Right? Perfect. Good to, I'd say so. I'd say that looks about the same right now. Now, for 6, all you're going to do is drag this down a little bit. This is going to cut out. There's a lot of high end depending on the microphone you use. It could be very flat high end, but what I like to do is you cut out the more vocal, like I'm not explaining this perfectly. This is just how the terms come to my head. Cut out the more vocal side of the high end. I mean, it's all vocals, but I mean, like, this is where it's most expressive, I feel it is. And then you turn up this high end a little bit to your liking. Don't do, like, a lot over here because it's just too much. Nobody wants to hear that much high end, okay? Nobody wants to hear that much high end. You turn it up, like, a little bit like here. And boom, that's about the first EQ right there. That's about the same that I have. like this. This is just rough. You could do it. You match it to your voice. That's how you do it. Okay. So back to the track. Fresh Air is my next thing in the chain. I personally like Fresh Air. It gives it a more breathy feel. You don't have to use Fresh Air, but it is a free plugin, like actually free. You could just download this like off their whatever site Fresh Air is. And use your mid, high, turn it up whatever you like. I personally use 4.5. That's about it for the Fresh Air. Soundgodizer. Now, this is you probably heard a lot of things about Soundgodizer, but I like to have mine around here, quarter on C. I think this fits my vocals the best. I think it just sounds the best. And depending on the song type and the mix, I'll turn this up to around like here sometimes. If it's super underground song, maybe here, but that's very rare cases. Usually around here or quarter if I'm doing more raw singing. C1 comp stereo. This is just one of the this is just my compressor that I'm using. There is compressors like you'll have Fruity compressor. This is a Waves plugin. So you'll have it like let me see, Fruity compressor. And this is what your compressor would look like about. I put the threshold to about -30. That's for me. That's how it works for me. This also depends on your room and your mic and how loud your interface is, how loud you want to keep that. Ratio, I keep my ratio at about 4. I used to do 8, but that was really tight compressed vocals, so I like to keep it around 4 now for the ratio. Release, go about like 160, 156. It's just like, it's a rough estimate, you know. Gain, this is where you do. So instead of turning your interface volume all the way up, you keep your interface volume low and you turn up your gain to however much you want to, however you think it sounds like. This is where you do a lot of the volume leveling on your preset, okay? And the type, now, the best way I could break this down, because I don't know the science behind it. Hard is super punchy. Like it gives like, you know, Ian vocals, Osama-san vocals, those type of vocals, you know. It gives those things. That's what hard is. Soft is like, soft compression is like, you'll hear the difference. It sounds soft. Like it's compressing your vocals, but it's not like buh, buh, buh. You know, it's kind of just like, it's like shoo, shoo. That's a bad, like, I'm not sure how else to explain that. You could try vintage, medium. They all sound different. Try them out. See which ones you like better. That's what your compressor looks like. Mine is gonna look like this. If you have waves, you could use this. This is the gain right here, and I keep my interface real quiet. Threshold at about -30. Like I said, ratios at like 4. TAC, this is like 10. Instead, it says 1, but that's really like 10 because of the way this compressor is. And then release 179. You know, you just fuck with your settings. You know, just figure it out however you like it. Next thing I do is I like to have a fruity chorus, bass fruity chorus. These things are not touched at all. Just put fruity chorus on there, and then I turn down the mix to about like 27, 25, 15%, depends on the song, right? That's how you do it. Adds a little like a doubler, kind of, as a doubler. Like it is a doubler, but it's not. It makes it wider. I guess is a better way to say it. Proteus. What this does is it cuts out the s on my voice, the s's, like that. There's things called de-essers for that, and this is a de-esser, but this is FabFilter's version of it, and I like this one a lot. This is about where I have mine, threshold, like around here, range, you know. You just fuck with these until it's like getting rid of the S's the way you like it. Then I have another de-esser, but this is more like a compression de-esser instead of like a de-esser like that one is. So I have the frequency at around 7,000. That's the ones I want it to compress, and I have this about like -20. So if this is too low, like if you drag the number like down further, your vocals can get too compressed. You don't want that. So just do it at the least amount as possible while it's still effective though as well. Next course of action, this is where it gets a little bit rougher. Okay, this is cutting out harsh frequencies. This looks really weird, but it's super simple. I promise you, I reassure you, it is perfectly fine. You're gonna be okay. So let's just let's get another EQ, right? Okay, let's open this one up, detached, like so, and boom. So all you do for this one is kind of the same method as the first one was. You don't touch 1 and 7. You leave 1 and 7 alone, okay? Those are like, that's holding your EQ together. That's a good way to put it. So use the scroll wheel, right? Make it as tight as you can. See? Make it tight like this. You use the knob here if you need to. Come up here. Listen to your vocal mix with the beat turned off, right? Like that's about how you want to do it. You find the harshest frequency. you can from this section, this range. Then you take your slider, you drag it down, okay? A -3, around -3, -4 decibels. Once again, it tells you at the top left here. That's where it'll find it. And then, yeah, you just keep doing that for all of them. Find harsh frequencies you want to cut out, right? Do it like that, 2 through 6. Once you've done that, boom. This is going to be different depending on everyone's microphone and voice. So, take the time, go through. It's not that difficult to find. You'll hear harsh frequencies, I promise. Just like bring it around here, slide it until you find like the harshest one, and then bring it down. You'll be able to find it. It's not that difficult, I promise. Now, that's it for the second EQ. Then what I like to do, last two things. Flangus, the settings are justified a little bit. This thing, the order, I'm not really sure what this does. I have it on 8. Depth is like around here. This spread is turned all the way down. Delay is off. I like to keep this spread at around a little bit under halfway. Cross, -25, I guess. And then wet and dry, you keep them up here like 75 default. And then I turn this down to 15%. That's how I like my main preset. And then this bottom EQ is just another harsh frequency cutter. You don't have to do this. This is optional. I just did this because there were some harsh frequencies I wanted to cut out still. And now, instead of using Soundgoodizer, like to turn your shit all the way up, to cut through your mix, it could sound a little harsh if you turn it up a lot. So what I like to do is I use these EQs down here very slightly. You don't touch these too much. Like, you don't fuck with them a lot because they're very strong. I have the low end cut just like a little bit, and then I like to turn my mids up to 0.8, sometimes 1.2. It cuts through the vocals really well because it's boosting the mids in like a good way instead of like a harsh way, I think. And then the high end, you can turn it up like so. I usually just keep these on the default things. You can move them around though if you want to. Like, you can move this one like over here. It's up to you. And then last thing I have on the main Vox is I have my vocals widen, stereo separation 45%, this knob right here. You could do it more if you want. I recommend keeping it around 50 to 30, somewhere around there, if you have this on even at all. And yeah, that's basically how the whole mix works. So let me break this down for you then. Let me break the effects down for you. So let's turn everything off except the auto tune in the limiter, okay? So this is just with let me come over here. This is just with the auto-tune and limiter. Go when you looking. Right? So first EQ on, okay? Boom. Go when you looking. First EQ, low end's cut. Sounds way better. Fresh air. Go when you looking. Fresh air, you hear the diff. Go when you looking. Go when you looking. It's not a big difference, but it's a little bit difference. Now where the big difference is coming, the Soundgoodizer. Go when you looking. Boom. Already louder. Sounds way better, okay? Mod compression. Go when you looking. Boom. We got the whole thing. This sounds really loud right now. It won't be this loud for long, I promise. Go when you looking. Then, fruity chorus. Go when you looking. Boom. We got a little bit of wetness to the vocals, okay? De-esser. Go when you looking. Cuts out the s, but there's not many s in that recording, so, De-esser stereo. Go when you looking. Go when you looking. This is the harsh frequency cutter. Go when you looking. Then the flangus. Go when you looking. And then the parametric EQ. Go when you looking. That's what it is all together. Now, let's do it fully off and then fully on. Go when you looking. Go when you looking. Boom. That's the preset. You can adjust this to your needs. Use different plugins. I know not everyone has waves and all that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the vocal takes and how to record on that. And maybe I'll do layers some other time. I'm not gonna lie, I can't be bothered with that, so we're not gonna do that right now. If I wasn't recording this whole time, thank God I am, because it's been 20 minutes. So I'm gonna go. There's one more example I'm gonna use, actually, as a matter of fact.
Okay, it's telling me F sharp minor 448. Okay, first course of action, because this beat is extremely loud. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna go, so this is an underground beat, like this, heavy auto-tune, okay. We're gonna turn this down, first of all. That's very important. Don't be afraid to turn down your beats if they're too loud, okay? Don't worry. As you can see, super loud beat, okay? So there's some frequencies we don't really like too much in here. They're very extensive. Let me get this EQ to look normal. I'm going to drag down the mids because I'm not sure how well my vocals are cutting through this. So let's do this like so. And then what we're going to do is also lower the bass like this. And also, it does not seem they have a soft clipper on. So let's throw a soft clipper on here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this beat is very poorly mixed, but that's okay. This is how, let's just record a little underground thing. Alright, right, this is like terrible, okay, but it's just for purposes, for video purposes. Okay, boom, so like turn down the vocals a little more, or not turn them down, turn down the mids on the beat so my vocals are popping more. See, coolio. And the next thing we're gonna do, actually, no, that's it. So, yeah, coolio. Boom, like this. So that's how you mix, that's how you record, basic understanding of it.
Thank you for watching. I don't even know if this is gonna go on YouTube or not. But yeah, so just come back here if you need a reminder on how to mix. If you can't figure any of that shit out, you know, blah blah blah. And that's Slaz's preset and how I mix my main vocals and beat. Yep. Bye bye.